we can share to the rest of the world. So thank you so much. We, of course, celebrating International Women's Month. The whole month, the activities around the world are celebrating us women. And this year's theme is Embrace Equity, which we'll get into a little later on. But we need to start it the right way. So right now, I'm going to ask Dr. Wanda Chesney if she can lead us in prayer and open this evening's session.
Let's pray. Can we take the music down? Let's pray. Can we take the music down? Thank you. Heavenly Father, we come before you, Creator God, thanking you for today. We thank you, Father, for all these women that are gathered here and for the ways in which you have blessed us all. We thank you, Father, for this program as we celebrate women. Lord, you know that today is the day that we are taking to recognize and celebrate women in our society. And so, Lord, we ask for a special blessing for everyone gathered here. In a special way, God, we lift up all the presenters from the chief plotter, the MC, and everyone that will be presenting. Father, we ask that you bless their gifts, empower them, imbue them with the wisdom and the confidence that in all that they do, your name will be glorified. And we thank you, Lord. We thank you for this day. We thank you for this program. Bless all the organizers. Bless everyone so that together we can have a wonderful time this afternoon. And we say thank you. Thank you in advance for all that you will do. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Wanda. Thanks for being here and sharing. All right, so firstly, before we kick it off, I have to apologize. Nyla Blackman was supposed to kick off our session, and due to some scheduling problems and the time change we changed back in the US this morning at 2 a.m. So that kind of had a little scheduling problem, so we apologize. And of course, Nyla is here in spirit. She's one of the young women that represent an entertainment that is doing so well to represent her family and her country. So we thank Nyla for agreeing, but unfortunately, we couldn't get her to do it live. All right, so this evening's presentation is Embrace Equity. And when I first heard the term equity, you think, as women, every International Women's Day, we always fight for the equal rights of women, but as it pertains to men, doing some research, we are still not paid the same as men. Women straight across the border are paid like 85 cents on the dollar versus men. It's especially depressing for Black women, colored women who only get like 58 cents on the dollar. And Spanish women, Latinos, they get like 43 cents on the dollar. So I think we have a lot of work to do, but I thought that this year was really important when you really understand what equity is. And I was trying to think of how do we break down equity and what does it really mean in kind of layman's term. And I thought of this example where you are babysitting two children and they're both hungry. We're going to give them fruit and we pick up two apples, one for baby A, one for baby B. And then we remember, that this would be fair, one apple each, everybody gets food, same time, etc. That would be equal. But where equity goes a little further is that on the way to feed baby B, we remember she's allergic to apples. So we go and get a banana instead. So we're still feeding, but we are more in tune to how that each baby would be satisfied, each baby would be healthy, or for the fruit. So that's a kind of fine tune in what equity is. Another one that I found by Dr. Nahid Dosani. He says equality is giving everyone a shoe, but equity is giving everyone a shoe that fits. So we are going to learn so much. We as women are the ones that, really have the empathy to teach the next generation or generation after that, that we need to not treat everyone equally, but go that step further where we just kind of give them the tools and resources and support they need to be the best person they can be. We have some amazing superwomen, as I like to call them, and we thank them for being here. And right now we're going to start with our first. Sorry, guys, I have a million things happening on the computer. Right. So we're going to firstly start with, okay, one more second. Just bear with me. See, I need that course. Okay. We're going to start. We have to do it formally by inviting our chief plotter. I love that. Plotters, our chief plotter, and we are here again courtesy of PLOTT, so we thank them for having everyone. Ms. Tracy Farag, who will give us our opening remarks on behalf of PLOTT.
Thank you so much, Nikki, and thank you for bringing the facts and such a wonderful metaphor for us to understand exactly what it is we are trying to achieve in terms of equality. For me, today is such a celebration. I am always, and increasingly more so over the years, I think of women as my tribe. I love men, don't get me wrong, love them, but there are experiences that are unique to women that simply make her the shoulder and the air that for me is better to share my stories and my thoughts. So here among you, I feel like I'm within a sisterhood. I feel such a wonderful, amazing, fabulous feeling inside to be sharing this space and time with these amazing presenters who will share their stories, and all of my sisters in PLOTT and some others who have come from outside, past presenters who are here as well. So we all know that much work still needs to be done. But today is a day of celebration. So we're going to look back and see how far we've come. So in our small country, we can boast that we've had women who have reached the highest offices in the land, the Honorable Kamala Prasad-Bissessar, Her Excellency Paulamy Weeks, and most recently, our new Commissioner of Police, Mrs. Ayla Christopher. We have shown that we can reach the summit. We can. So what we need to do now, I think, more and more, is reach down and give a helping hand and bring up the younger women. So among our plotters, I know there are many women who are doing that. Some of them quietly in their own way, and some of them, the media spotlight is a little bit more on them. And cheers to them. They know who they are, and we do as well. I encourage each of us today maybe to take our pledge when we have our toast, not just to toast ourselves, but to make that pledge a part of what we will do to take the journey on. So that when we give a helping hand up, sometimes even hold a hand, and sometimes when the time is right, we pass the baton onto a new hand, a new capable woman. After all, we are in good hands. We're in our own. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you so much, Tracy. And yeah, we do welcome, I always feel so empowered when I am around you awesome women. So thank you for motivating me and just being there. All right, so we have women that kind of represent different aspects of life and our society. And we're going to kick it off with one of my friends. I love her dearly. She is TNT's first female world boxing champion. She began her sport career in 1995. And since then, she's had a 13-year career in the square ring with 4 world boxing titles in 2 different weight divisions and the Pan American kickboxing title also. In 2017, she was inducted into the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame. In 2020, she became a consultant with the International Federation, the IBA, and then resigned from her job at the University of TNT at the time in 2021 to work full-time with IBA. And though she's not actively trying to create history, she still remains in December in 2022, although she's from the American continent, she became Secretary General of the European Boxing Federation. And yes, she's the first and only female Secretary General of the 5 boxing confederations. In other words, you don't want to get this girl vexed, all right? She is in Switzerland right now, way ahead of us. It's nighttime there. So let's put our hands together and welcome Ria Ramnarine. Ria? I just saw her. Is she still here, Nat? Or she's trying to unmute?
Ria, you need to unmute. Can you? Or let me.
Yeah, she's trying to unmute.
Let me unmute you. Sorry.
She must be falling asleep. They're about 4 or 5 hours ahead of us. Oh, there she is. Hi, Ria. They're trying to, I know they're trying to unmute you. Trying to see if I could do it from my end. No. One
Hi,
second.
ladies. Okay, I think it's I was finally unmuted.
So. Hi, Ria. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Welcome.
No problem.
What time is it in Sweden right now? Switzerland?
10:18, and yeah, I'm okay, but a little bit sleepy. Normally, I'm a night person, but it's been a very hectic past couple days. So, yeah.
Thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Right. So you could go ahead, Ria, whenever you're ready to speak.
Okay, so going back to what Nikki was saying about embracing equity, and she made a I really love the metaphor of giving everyone a shoes, being equality, but giving everyone a shoes that can fit, being equity. And I think we as women, and I say that in a very general sense, meaning like, okay, we might understand, but I think the greater population of women and men and people in general do not understand what equity is. And it's strange enough, the first, if you want to say introduction I had to the term equity and what it really means was when I was doing an international coaching program here in Switzerland, actually, ironically. So maybe this is divine intervention. And what they showed was a fence, and everyone is, 3 people are trying to look over the fence. And they gave all of them the same height of box to stand on. And of course, the shorter person could not see over, the not so tall person couldn't see, but of course, the taller one got to see even more, although they were already seeing over the fence. So for me, that's something that I always relate to in trying to explain and even further understand equity. And my wish would be for women first to understand equity before we can ask for it, before we can lobby for it, before we can influence others for it. And I had a very interesting conversation today with Natalie and MJ, and we were saying we should have recorded that interview for tonight, because we spoke about so many different things, but we saw where the difference was between equality and equity. And of course, they were asking about in terms of sport, and my sport specifically being boxing, the, wage differences, the opportunity differences, and so on. And it's a very dynamic situation. It's always changing. And sometimes we go forward, sometimes we take 5 steps back, sometimes we go 2 steps forward and 10 steps back. But what is important for me is that we're always stepping forward. And while we want to influence women and get women to understand this, we also need the men to understand this. And we need to help each other, because one of the things we were talking about today is how many women go to sporting events. And I will speak obviously specific to sport, right? How many women go to sporting events? How many women go to sporting events that involves a woman? And we got one good example today where one of the girls said that, okay, I saw some hands going up, so that's great, right? That she goes to all the cricket matches with the men, but she has not yet gone to one cricket match with women. And I don't know if some of you would remember a couple of years ago, the situation with NBA, with the men being paid so much more than the woman. And the guy asked the question, well, how many of you go to watch the women basketball? So ticket sales is something that contributes to the payday. And you're as good as how many tickets you sell. So you might be great, but if you're not bringing in those ticket sales, your value in terms of what you can give to a promoter or how you can be sold to TV, selling that TV rights to give you that exposure, it's not going to happen. So someone pro wrestling and Trinidad. Okay, woohoo, right? So what I'm saying, ladies, is basically we have to help each other. And then we have to start with everyone else. And after speaking with Nikki and Natalie and MJ earlier, I had a meeting with one of my colleagues, so I apologize for being late and kind of gave him an idea of what this session was going to be out. And he said, well, I don't think women should approach anything differently. And I said, what do you mean by that? He said, well, women should not approach women differently. And I was kind of confused. And he said, well, they should approach everything male and female equal, because that's what we're asking for. I said, no, but we're asking for equity. And then I explained to him in a bigger sense what equity is. And I think I made some headway today with at least one male who understood equity better.
It's a good start, one male. It's a great start. One of the things that equity, that they say about equity is that we as women have to embrace everyone with no biasness and encourage everyone that we come in contact with in our society to be the best that they can be. And we know many times people are not born in the same financial situation, emotional situation. Some people could get support from family while others may not. And one of the reasons that, one of the ways I should say that I embrace equity is by mentoring. I think it's important to reach out to the younger ones, to let them dream and go after all their dreams so that they could be the best authentic self, right? So I'm in the US right now, and one of the things that they have been really pushing as a society is to embrace everyone, right? No matter your race, no matter your sexual preference, your voting preference, etc. So is it important to you to mentor? Do you do mentoring? Or how do you relate to the next generation of young women and plotters?
Okay, so while I was what we would say a competitive athlete, while I was competing, more of a household name, and the school children, especially like the secondary schools, I went to a lot of the schools and in different ways spoke to them from the angle of using sport, right? And to reach their goals, to dream big, to achieve their dreams and so on. So I had that opportunity to interact with them directly. And later on, what I started to do was, and what I do now still, as much as time and opportunity permits, because I'm usually always on the go, is that I work more with the parents, Nikki, because for me, it's sometimes you're trying to reach that younger generation and they're so embedded in their own world, in their own society, with their friends, their peers. It's sometimes difficult, and sometimes it's an older person. Older person trying to get through to them, it's harder for them to relate. So what I do, I look at the parents, I look at the aunts, the uncles, the one who are in charge, if you understand what I'm saying, of these younger ones. And I try to influence them because sometimes they themselves don't know. And I think if I can influence a mom, then she can influence her child. So this is where mentoring comes in for me. So as time has gone on and I'm not so much, able to communicate with the children directly, I do it more from an angle of working with the parents. So that's the angle I take with mentoring.
That's awesome. All right. So thank you. Hang around. We may have some questions. Guys, put up your hands. Let's say thank you to Ria. We have so many other speakers and we're just trying to get through everyone. So thank you to Ria. And
yes, thank you, Nikki.
Yeah, and we appreciate that sleep time over there. So thank you. And we get ready to speak to someone who's from the creative side of our society. She's an amazing woman, has done so much representing us around the world. She migrated to England when she was 16. She also graduated with a BA honors in silversmithing, jewelry, and allied crafts from the prestigious Sir John Cass faculty at London Guildhall University. The following year, she received a Clerkenwell Award from the Clerkenwell Green Association to set up a studio near the heart of London's jewelry quarter, Hatton Garden. And during that time there, she developed a business, not only have a local business there, but she also exhibited around the world. Her pieces have been in Vogue UK, Harper's and Queen, A World of Interiors, the Sunday Times UK, The Guardian UK. Well, we can't forget, Trinidad and Tobago. She's also been at the Express and Newsday, etc. She is just a phenomenal woman that is an artist, a true love for the art form. So let's welcome Janice Derrick Jewelry. Oh, sorry, Janice Derrick, and she will talk about her jewelry, which is contemporary Caribbean handmade jewelry. So welcome, Janice. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much, Nikki. Gosh, I hope I can live up to that introduction.
Good, girls. And I cut off half the thing, Hello.
Wow, thank you. And thank you, everybody, for having me this evening. Very honored to be in this great company. I am going to share my screen. Just give me 1 second. As we worked out earlier, I'm not the best at these things, but we're going to try. So, actually, how do I do this? Okay, not getting very far here. Hold on. Please be patient with me while I figure this out. So sorry, just give me 1 second. I can't seem to minimize the Okay, you guys are gonna see the behind the scenes. I'm just gonna apologize for that right now, and you'll see 2 seconds of. Do you want to continue? Okay, are you guys seeing my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So I'm gonna have a very different talk prepared to Ria, because I'm gonna give you a little bit of my experience as a jeweler. I started my business, Janice Derrick Jewelry, 26 years ago almost. In a few weeks' time, it'll be 26 years. But growing up in Trinidad, I had some very great examples of strong women, not least of all my mom, Diana, who started the Copyright Organization of Trinidad and Tobago when I was a teenager. And it's actually because of a job offer she got in the UK following that we moved to England when I was 16. I kind of always knew that I wanted to do something creative, but it wasn't until I was doing my 1-year foundation course, which happens between A-levels and university in the UK, that I fell in love with jewelry on a trip to the British Museum, where they had quite a great collection of early civilization, Egyptian and Etruscan jewelry. And that kind of sparked my love of metal then. And so when it came time to apply to university, I applied to jewelry courses and was lucky enough to get onto this one at the London Guildhall University, which covered not just jewelry, but large scale objects. So the silversmithing and then using other materials, hence the name Allied Crafts. It was a very broad-based 4-year degree, which was wonderful. And I was able to work out in industry. I worked in the theatre, and I actually came to Trinidad and worked with Gillian Bishop and Pat Bishop at the Signature Collection, which was a phenomenal experience as a student. But, you know, before I started my degree, at the time I must have been 19, I had really no inkling as to the biases and the effect that being a female would have on my progress into this field. I didn't realize until probably about a year in the extent of the old boys club that ran the jewelry field in the UK, from the goldsmiths hall to every piece of metal and any stones you wanted to buy. They literally controlled the whole scene and did not have a lot of patience for young female students. So very quickly, I worked out that knowledge was power. I had to do my homework and prepare myself before I went to interact with any of these gentlemen, because I also realized that from the time I could articulate exactly what I wanted and show them that I knew what I was talking about, and I also had the resources to be taken seriously, then I gained their respect. And that was the beginning of 25-year relationships that I still have with some of the people. But I mean, even to this day, when I go into those places and I see, unfortunately, you know, young girls come in and they haven't prepared and they have no clue what they're looking for. And you can see the exasperation on these old guys still. It's like, oh, I really want to help you all. Because I was there one day, well, quite a while ago. But, you know, one of the best parts of my degree was the fact that 95% of the students on the course, because times had changed, were all female. And females from all around the world. We had students from New Zealand, Korea, the States, all across Europe, Brazil. And I'm in fact in touch with quite a few of them still. And that sort of what got me through, you know, difficult times on this 4-year degree course. But, you know, it's, if I can say anything about, you know, my experience is definitely unique because not many people are in my field. And for the most part, I work on my own now. So I don't interact with that many people. I know, you know, there are many experiences of disparity in the job, in the workplace between men and women. And thankfully, I don't have to deal with that most of the time. It's in the circumstances outside my workshop that I have these issues. And for the most part, these days, I don't deal with them anymore, even though I have done in the past. And I'm very grateful for that. But I believe, you know, for us to be strong, independent women, we have to support each other. And very much what everybody else was saying, this difference between equality and equity, it has to be recognized and utilized, because I think many people still interject and they're not the same, and we all deserve the chance for equity. So as much as possible, you know, we have to support the younger people coming up, as you guys have already said. But I do strongly believe, as I said, knowledge is power, and that's something that we should always arm ourselves with. And communication is also very key, because again, I think a lot of us fall down without the communication, and that's men and women. And I don't know, I hope you all are enjoying the slideshow.
Oh, definitely. Wow. The talent is amazing. And as you said, very international feel, you know, but with the Caribbean, you know, you're getting that Caribbean vibe
I hope
about
you do. It's hard for me to be, you know, to be objective, but it's, I hope you do feel that I am from the Caribbean.
Oh, definitely. There were so many pieces that reminded me of the steel pan, Janice, which, you know,
right,
you can see those little touches that are very Caribbean, that makes us unique.
Well, you can see that I'm definitely not someone who is a figurative designer. It's very much, you know, very clean lines and not really representing of things. So it's sometimes difficult to know what other people see in my work, but
that's the artist and you're talking.
I guess, you know, I do what I do, and it's hard to sometimes pull away from it and be judgmental. So
yeah, because you know, I tell artists, you know, it's a piece of your soul there, Janice, that you're sharing with the world. So we appreciate it.
It really
we appreciate
is.
You. Tavel has a comment. She says the case for supporting women's empowerment is very strong in the jewelry industry. Women drive a demand for a vast majority of the world's jewelry. Furthermore, in the rapidly growing ethical consumer movement, millennial and now Generation Z, women and girls are driving consumer decisions towards products and companies that act consciously and protect their supply chains. It's amazing that while the demand is driven by women, the industry is still male-dominated, something to analyze and think about. Thank you, Cavell, for sharing. And it's so true. Jewelry is, you know, the way to a woman's heart. You know, it ties into love. It ties into horn. Because when you get horn, you get big jewelry rings.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's definitely celebratory.
So I like how Cavell really said, yes, it's a female-driven industry, and yet there's still those complications with men and how they see women in the industry.
Yeah. Very much so. And, you know, recently I've started following, there are some all women owned mines, small mines in fair trade areas across Africa and the Middle East. And I think it's essential for people like me who are small businesses as well to support them. It's not always easy being in Trinidad to get those resources, but I definitely follow them very much.
Awesome. And we get a discount.
Yes, guys, if you did feel that you'd like to purchase anything, this is last for the whole of 2023. You can get a small discount on a piece of my jewelry.
Awesome.
And that's the end of my slides.
It was an awesome slide. Thank you. To have a visual, it was amazing. So let's see the hands. Thank you very much, Janice.
Well, thank you. And thank you, Natalie, for inviting me to take part. Oh, look at my earrings. Thank you, Tracy.
Yeah, we saw the earrings first time as you came on. We noticed the earrings. So thank you so much, Janice.
Thanks
we may
so
have
much
some questions if we have a little time later. We just kind of get through the speakers, and then if any of our lovely ladies in the room, you can, of course, ask any questions you want. They will be so happy to answer. Okay, so it's time to get ready for our next speaker. And, you know, I call all these women superwomen because, you know, we do so much, you know, and to hear that today, this particular lady was negotiating with the pilots, it's just kind of tell you how she's really into the aviation industry. And she has had a 35 years experience. That's my age, girl. Anyway, 35 years of aviation experience with a diverse background in managing flight and airport operations, training and quality standards, customer service, business optimization, and project management. She currently holds the position of Chief Operating Officer at Caribbean Airlines, where she is responsible for 46% of the workforce. She's considered a startup and turnaround specialist in the field of operations, and she's reputed for success in directing cross-functional project teams in the launch of new products and enhanced service offerings. So we're very pleased to have her. We thank you for being here. Let's welcome Miss Nirmala Ramai. Hi, Nirmala.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, and thanks a lot for the opportunity to share this afternoon with everyone. It's a pleasure being here among all these esteemed women and our hostess herself. Nikki Roberts, say hi. I have them working hard. So I just want to start my presentation by a question that I always get. And it's, why did I choose this career path? And my story starts from when I was 18 years old, leaving St. Joseph's Convent in St. Joseph and going into BWIA as a check-in agent. That position I held for 10 years. It was a position that I love, and today it is still one of the most memorable positions that I had, because it encouraged me and led me to interact with people and really made a difference. But it set a strong foundation. And I never had a career objective to exceed to the top of an airline. But what I did, I worked diligently and hard at what I did and succeeded. And every time I succeeded, my work got recognized. And every time my work got recognized, there was an opportunity to get a promotion. And during that progressive phase of my career, I was mentored in the aviation industry by some strong male leadership mentors. And today, I stand as the first female COO of Caribbean Airlines, and I'm also the 9th female COO globally within the airline industry. I am a national of Trinidad and Tobago, managing our national airline, and they did not have to go out there for expat labor. And all started from love of what I do. So that's how it started, Nikki and ladies. And as I go through, I want to share my experiences, because working in the operation field in aviation is tough. And I would have gone through a lot of challenges, but not from being recognized equally. I never had in my career any issues that blocked me from getting to the next level. I was always encouraged by my male managers. I was always given opportunity, and I was always given the charge to learn and get there. Today, I'm looking at the theme of the International Women's Day, and I am now internalizing the whole concept of equity versus equality. And it's new to us. And I reflected to see in my step up within the operations area, if there was any instances where I felt that it was not equitable based on what we are learning now. And I think the only area where I can see is where I was in terms of being a woman in the workplace and having a home to take care of. I have one son, he's 23 years old. And I think that while I had a very, and still do, a very, very good support system in my mom, my sister, my friends, my husband, my family, not everybody starts with that advantage. And that I think is where we are now in our positions to help people make that difference and that community to support younger women to be able to do so. So while a woman may have to take time off to take care of the kids, leave her career path, stop, restart, start back from scratch, build out, men don't have that. But if we create that parity and give men the opportunity through organizations with facilitation to do that, and the women to continue their paths then I think that is where it will be balanced, and we will be able to, you know, help homes make that difference for both men and women. And I think right now, where I look at, like Nikki said, I manage 46% of the workforce. I have 10 departments under me. I have what we call an absent workforce, which is our pilots and our cabin attendants. And when we deep dive into that, they are starting at a disadvantage because they are away from their homes. How, as an organization, now we could sit and really start to continue helping them? I have a lot of young talent in my division, especially young women, because they are shining more. It's not that the men are not capable, but the women are shining more. And Nikki spoke about mentorship. I spend a lot of time with them, you know, just talking to them, teaching them, guiding them. I didn't have that option. When we were in school many years ago, we didn't have career fairs. We didn't have people to guide us in terms of, you know, it's always doctor, lawyer, teacher. That's it. Now, as we see by our speakers here, there's so many professions, there are so many things that you could do. And now, where I am in my career, it's really time to give back. All those mentors gave me an opportunity, and it's really my time to give back. So I spend a lot of time, you know, just talking to people, giving them that guidance and helping them. And as COO, I think I'm in a position now to really help in a real way through the organization.
Thank you so much, Nirmala. Thank you so much. I'm sure we'll have some questions for you too. And you mentioned earlier when you said, you know, those that you guide, and so in terms of the workforce, and that's what we emphasizing this evening, because, you know, for us to really embrace equity, it means really facing the truth that in our society, all people, as I said before, don't really start with the same level playing field. So if we embrace and work towards equity in terms of women and the ones, as I said, who are empathetic, it means working towards each individual getting the kind of support and resources they need to succeed. So, you know, and one person need might be a different person need. So it's really interesting to know that that's the way business is going to, that you kind of respect and embrace all the employees and really try to give them to be the best that they can be. So thank you so much, Nirmala. I admire you so much.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you. That is job, eh, boy? And all they don't be calling Nirmala to change no reservation, okay? She's a busy lady. Just have my number, Nirmala, in case you need a hookup. All right, guys, we are moving on. You know, we're trying to keep it nice and tight because we know, as I said, everyone's busy, and we just wanted to get through so much. So the next woman that power superwoman that we have with us today is the piano girl. Now, many might know her as Johanna Chakari. And she is just this amazing, multi-talented Trinbagonian. And she's a pianist, a singer, and a songwriter. And she is a multiple winner of the TNT National Music Festival in the piano solo category. She's a rising star. This rising star, she is also a practice engineering and human resources management, and holds degrees in both fields while playing the piano. And she's very versatile. She has a video that I can't forget as one of the most memorable performances when she performed Savannah Grass, and she had a piano in East Savannah. That's the kind of artist she is. She's performed such events as Cass, Tuesday on the Rocks, Marshall 40th on his show and Evolution this year, and for international audiences such as the Dominica Jazz Festival and Uber Soca Cruise in 2019. She's hailed as really a true daughter of the soil, and the piano girl Johanna continues to highlight the beauty of Trinidad and Tobago, and her ability to elevate any song with musical elegance and soulful energy is kind of what she wows audiences with. So give her a round of applause. We love her, the piano girl, Johanna.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Nikki. How are you, Nikki? It's so good to see you.
I know. How are you? How was
I'm
Carnival?
good. I'm good. I'm so sorry to everyone. I am not able to get the background in because I think my Zoom does not support. I need a green screen or something like that. So I hope this background
Your
is
wall's
good.
kind of green. We could see it.
I want to say a
thanks
special
for being here, Joe.
Yes, thank you for having me. Thank you to the powerful ladies of Trinidad and Tobago PLOTT for having me to be here today. I know you would have heard from some amazing women today, and it is really my pleasure to, am I still closing this event? Am I the last speaker?
Yeah.
Okay. To close this event and to share some of my journey with you. So Nikki, I know that you may have wanted to chat with me back and forth. If there's anything you want to ask, as I say,
awesome.
You can just jump in and ask me.
Awesome.
So
thank you.
I feel like I'm always motivating and encouraging and offering different perspectives to many of my female friends and colleagues in private. So I'm very happy to be invited to do this in a more public setting. I believe that there are many different paths that can lead us to our destination. And I believe there's no right or wrong way to do things. There's no magic formula for success. There's only our own belief in ourselves, hard work, discipline, and our ability to pick ourselves up every single time we may fall. My career path has been quite an unconventional one. And as I'm about to talk about it now, I still find myself fighting the urge to downplay my accomplishments. Why? I ask myself, why? Maybe because as a woman, I got into my head somewhere along the line that I'm not meant to take up space, that I'm not meant to speak up. I'm not meant to be loud. I'm not meant to be proud. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Definitely. If I listened to my mother, there would never have been a Nikki Crosby, so, so I was too loud or too funny. What are you doing? So I could totally relate, Johanna.
Exactly. So most times when I'm introduced for a performance or for an event like this one, the host reads my bio, right? You know, a bio is a description of yourself, your achievements, that kind of thing. So I remember writing my bio for another event and being introduced alongside one of my male colleagues. And when I heard his bio, I was blown away because we both had accomplished similar things, but his sounded better. So I said to myself, I need to redo this. So my bio used to read, she has practiced engineering and human resources management. My bio now reads, she has practiced engineering and human resources management and holds degrees in both fields. My bio used to read, she is a multiple national music festival winner. My bio now reads, she is a multiple Trinidad and Tobago music festival winner in the piano solo category, winning the national championships in different age groups for 3 consecutive years. I'm not saying that you have to hold degrees or win competitions to be successful. I'm saying, ladies, that whatever you have accomplished, please do not be afraid to speak up about it. I assure you our male counterparts are doing it. Put it on your bio, put it in your resume, on your LinkedIn profile, or on the pitch that you are making to that new client, on your social media profile, or when you're networking. Speak up about your accomplishments and let your voice be heard. Okay? And speaking of voices, I have been finding my own voice quite literally, as some of you may know. I have now presented myself not only as a pianist, but as a singer as well. And this is all very exciting.
I have to introduce you as Johanna, the piano singer girl.
Well, I'm sticking with the piano girl because
okay.
I'm not rebranding, but maybe the piano girl plus.
Okay.
So this is all very exciting for me. My musical journey has definitely been one of self-discovery. And I like to say that I feel like I am witnessing my own evolution, but also as I peel back the layers of who I am, because there's a lot to peel back to get under to discover or rediscover who I am. It is also like a remembering for me and a coming closer to my true self, and in many ways acknowledging my inner child and what keeps her happy. And I personally have tried to move away from the more conventional ways of measuring success. I've tried to move away from measuring for myself financial success, material possessions, external validation, social media followers. And I have moved more to defining success for myself as simply being happy. I have found when I build my life around happiness, that other parts of my life, for example, my career or creative opportunities, seem to fall in place. So I encourage you to define in your life what success means, what it looks like to you, not what it looks like for me, or what it looks like for you, Nikki, or what it looks like for any of our other speakers. I encourage you to define what success looks like for you. Because I feel that comparison is the true thief of all joy. And once you find out what success looks like for you, I encourage you to pursue that with all your heart and all your soul. And as we're on the topic of success, there's the opposite of success, which we call failure, right? But is there really thing called failure when it's all about our life experience? In 2019, I was between jobs in the human resources field. I interviewed for 2 or 3 positions and I was unsuccessful in the interviews. I was disappointed. I felt like I kept failing. At the same time, my piano cover of Kess's Savannah Grass became popular. And I started getting calls for bookings to play at events. Like you said, Nikki, that year I played Kess Tuesday on the Rocks Dominica Jazz Festival, Uber Soca Cruise. So were those interviews in the human resources field, were they really failures, or were they life experiences guiding me along a different path? I encourage you to look at failures maybe as compasses, guiding you to whatever's your path or along your path. One of my challenges, I think, growing up was that I lacked strong and positive female role models. There was no social media. The internet was now coming about. So if you didn't have a role model in your close circle, that was it. Fast forward to today, where you could find stories on inspiring and amazing women, even in groups, within groups like this, with the click of a button. I encourage you to tailor your social media and your news feed with things and people, strong and smart and intelligent and beautiful women that motivate you. Certainly that is what my news feed looks like when I scroll. You know, those things really, really help me. I remember being a teenager and playing the piano in the same way, sort of in the same style as I would do today, and being told by experienced persons in the music industry, you play too much. Why are you playing like that? In fact, sometimes today I'm still told that to some extent. The difference is now I recognize it as I play differently to what people may be used to, not too much. If you listen to my work, you'll realize it's something very different from what you may have ever heard. And different isn't always well received. When you don't fit into a box, it's hard to feel like you belong. But when you realize that different is what makes you unique, being different can start to feel very powerful. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
I once read this saying that went something like, if you don't feel like you fit into the world you currently live in, do you know it, Nikki?
No, first time hearing it.
If you feel like you don't fit into the world you currently live in, it's because you're here to help create a new one. That really, really stuck with me. So now anytime I feel like I don't fit in, I remind myself of that saying. Another saying I remind myself of is, other people's opinion or perception of you is none of your business. You know that one?
Drink your water and mind your business.
Exactly, exactly. Let me say that again. Other people's opinion or perception of you is none of your business. I want to add to this. You do not need anyone's validation to be who you were meant to be in this world. If you have a vision of yourself, a truth that only the depths of your heart knows, a fire that burns bright and strong within your soul, please honor it. For ladies, I would like to say that you are exactly what you have been seeking. I'm going to say that again. You are exactly what you have been seeking. Everything you need is already within you. So I know I only have had 8 minutes. I really want to keep to time. So I'm wrapping up now. And in closing, I want to do a little exercise with those of us who are here with me. It's something I like to do on my own sometimes. I'm not sure have you seen the movie The Matrix? I'm not sure if everyone has seen it. Okay, so the first one, not the sequel, it's the first one. So there's this scene, right, where the main character, Neo, recognizes that he has control over the Matrix world that he thought he was trapped in. So he now recognizes himself as the master of the world. And so he takes a deep breath in and out, and the Matrix world moves with him, right? So we're going to do that now. We're going to take a deep breath in and out, and then I'm going to tell you how I use this. So let's breathe in and out and see the world around you moving with you. So I want to say, when your boss cuts your really good idea from his presentation, and I'm saying his because we know that the majority of leadership positions are still held by men. That's changing, but the majority still is. So I want to say, when your boss cuts your really good idea from his presentation, I want you to recognize the possibility that your idea got cut, most likely because it was better than his, not because it was bad. That means that you are powerful. And I want you to breathe in and out when that happens, and remember the world breathing and moving with you. When someone tells you they can't see your vision, or you need to conform to what already exists, I want you to recognize the possibility that maybe your vision doesn't fit because it's about to shake things up in a major way. That means you are powerful. When someone puts any of your ideas or achievements down, I want you to recognize the possibility that they are speaking to you from a place of their own insecurity. They feel insecure around you. That means that you are powerful. Ladies, we were born powerful, but there are so many systems set up to undermine us, to make us forget who we are. So in these moments where you may feel trapped, or like you were passed over, like you don't fit in, like you keep failing, I want you to breathe in and out, and feel the world around you breathe with you as you reclaim your power. I'm the piano girl, Johanna. I want to thank the powerful ladies of Trinidad and Tobago and everybody being here today at this virtual event for having me. I hope some of my words have touched you in some way and have encouraged you to keep shining and keep being powerful.
Thank you so much, Johanna. That was awesome. I feel so inspired right now.
Thank you. I'm happy to hear that. Yes.
And,
yes.
Just to wrap up, I have gone through an experience which I don't think many of us probably go through, reaching my 50s, reaching the 50s and just jumping and leaving everything that was safe to me in Trinidad and my career, to just jump into something brand new, walking down the road, nobody know me, it's a whole change. And I felt that, it's something I had to motivate myself, because I motivate kids and I talk to kids all the time. I can't tell them that for you to soar, you have to jump, and that there's a kind of to remind everyone, age is really not a limit. anything that you want to do in this world, we can do. Like, you know, I feel like I have so much to give still, and I'm sure many of you feel that way. So we want you to just keep embracing equity. The more you embrace it and love everyone around you and share that love and empathize with people you work with. And, you know, typical example is, every time I see somebody, or as we like to call them, bullies, or somebody in the environment who's always mean, and they come to work in a bad day, and they're not really a people person, you know, I empathize with them. You know, I think something's going on with them. Maybe they're being abused at home. Maybe their children giving them trouble. And through that lens of empathy, we could do so much more when we really empathize with everyone around us, family, friends. So spread the empathy. Let's learn about this equity that we need to do. And, you know, it's like everything you touch will keep spreading. So we want to take some questions. Everyone loved you, Johanna. They're saying beautiful. And so many people saying that they were so inspired. Jillian is saying, thank you all for this wonderful evening. What advice do you have for breaking into the boys club of TNT in terms of company, partnership, sponsorship for a woman who owns All Caribbean Wrestling? So I don't know if anybody could answer me. Maybe you, Ria. I'll wait for Natalie to unmute you. She in charge of the talking.
I just opened up some of the permissions, so y'all could unmute and speak.
Okay, good.
Okay, great. So in order to answer that question, Nikki, I will go back to what I started with. And I did not really speak directly about my career, but what I can relate to in this question is that for you to be able to sell something, you have to have a good product. Now, it's not always easy. But what I do remember from my career is that when I started, I had to beat the streets in order to sell tickets for people to come to the fights. I had to, in fact, most of the times it was giving people complimentary tickets because your friends would say, yeah, coming to support you. Again, a free ticket, right? So this
I could relate to that.
Right. So this is how it started. But because we kept strong, and I say we, and just to quickly touch back on what Nirmala was saying, I was also fortunate to have a very strong male team around me. My coach, Bharat Ramuta, and the guys at the gym, they were great guys. So that was part of my strength. But we kept moving forward. We kept building our brand, building our product. And eventually sponsors, while we struggled still, we had sponsors coming to us. We had where the woman events was sold out more than the men. The woman, you all would remember Giselle, of course. So we pulled the greater crowds than the men boxing did actually. So just for the All Caribbean Wrestling, what I would say is to keep honing your skills, keep building your product, and make yourself more marketable. Get out there. You may have to do some, giving away the tickets and everything, but if you can show that you can draw that crowd, then sponsors will come.
Yeah.
You know, you have to show that you're worth seeing, and we know that you're worth seeing. That's not the question. But for them, they want to see, okay, you know, X amount of people in the venue. They want to see their adverts because it's all about what's in it for them. So tell them what you can do for them, rather than ask them what they can do for you. So.
Awesome answer. Thank you so much, Ria. Dale said a powerful statement, Nirmala, you started with, which was, it all started from the love of what I do. And that's something I tell all students, etc. I try for them to find their passion in life. And I think that's such an important part of who we are. Find your passion and go with it. So Nirmala, you can tell you're passionate about all the speakers about what they do. So they wanted to let you know.
Thank you.
All right. Any questions for any of, okay, while we're thinking of any questions, we're going to do a toast at the end. So if you need to go and get your little, I only did this because I heard there was a toast, you know, Tracy, I have my glass here. So I just letting you know, in case you need to run and get your your toast material. Okay, and Nirmala said, yes, she goes to schools on behalf of Caribbean Airlines, you know,
Yes.
and you know, that's a very popular one with the kids' aviation now, you know. Cavell says too that a number of women doubt their skills and talents or accomplishments and have a persistent internalized fear. It's exhibited even in interviews and how they present themselves to a panel, and it's also observed in negotiations for their compensation package. I still have that problem. Am I the only one? I really still have that problem. Even being out here, don't know how much to charge, so I'm not charging too much in case they find it's too much, while not recognizing that, you know, I'm Nikki Crosby, I come with a certain equity and they're supposed to pay this. So how do we women get over that? Anybody could answer me on that? Like, I mean, that's what you said, Johanna, about we as women, you know, we intimidated by the rest of the world. And I went through it as the first female in a male industry, you know, being the first female comedian out of the Caribbean. So I think I've always had that kind of insecurity because, you know, you're never seen as the same in terms of financially from men. And it's so hard sometimes as women for us to fight for this. They always want to beat us down. They always feel that women they could beat down. So it's something I'm still working on. And Johanna, how do you deal with this as an artist, or you know, is there something you can share with us?
I definitely share your feelings, Nikki. Yeah, you know, I was talking about it in what I said as well. And I think for me, it is almost like I am afraid to take up space. I want to, you know, sometimes I feel like
your piano could very big, eh? I just letting you know, it's a big piano. It takes up a lot of space.
Well, listen, as you said that, I performed last year at the National Award ceremony, and I insisted that the piano is placed center stage. I was told it needs to be off to the side. I said, no, it's just me with this piano. I'm here on the request of the president. Put the piano in the center of the stage. I don't care what you need to do. Roll it on, roll it off, move the mics, put it in the center. It was one time when I stood up for myself and I spoke, you know, I found my voice and I said, no, I want it there. And do you know what? Now, every time when I go back, that's a Napa. Every time when I go back there,
you know, to put your piano in the middle.
The piano is in the center. But to speak about
demanding respect for what we do.
Yes, sometimes I feel that I'm going to be, you know, I don't want to be mean, but I have to be firm. I think we have to be firm.
Because, you know, the first word they use is the B word. Once you get too assertive as a woman, once you know and you're professional and you want things done, the word they come across and it's so easy to be called that.
Yes, but so what? So what?
Okay.
You know, we have to get done what we need to get done. As something you have to get it done, you know? So I encourage us to speak up more, to speak out more, especially as was it the attendee was saying in interviews and negotiations, to speak about your accomplishments. To me, it feels a little strange, but I encourage us to keep doing it.
Thank you so much, Johanna. You guys have helped me so much, much less our attendees. And right now, we would like to ask Maria Joseph, one of the plotters, if she can give us a vote of thanks. We are in the time frame. We're doing so good. So Maria, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Nikki. Thank you so much. I'm very humbled to be sharing a platform with all of these beautiful, talented, wonderful, powerful women. And it is my sincere pleasure to give the vote of thanks on behalf of the PLOTT executive. We express gratitude, firstly, for life, health, strength, and of course, the opportunity to once again celebrate another International Women's Day together, appreciating, of course, those who are no longer with us. We wish to thank our Mistress of Ceremonies for bringing the energy and wit and enthusiasm and setting the tone for this afternoon's proceedings by leading us smoothly through the agenda. you know. We also express sincere gratitude to the presenters who volunteered their time to be with us. Thank you so much, Janice, Derrick. We know you have a lot of things. We loved your pieces. We could not help but notice your earrings.
I know.
Dear Ramnarine, thank you so much. We know it's late for you and the time difference. Nirmala, Ramai, thank you for sharing your story and reminding us of the importance of male mentors and the role and the value that they have to us, supporting us as women. Also, the piano girl, Johanna, thank you so much for reminding us of our power and our strength and not to minimize ourselves. That is very important. I think a lot of us do it without even recognizing that. So ladies, we applaud you for your meaningful contributions to your various disciplines. And we thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to come and celebrate with us today. A very special thank you to the person responsible for our graphic work, Mr. Sheldon Noriega, graphic artist extraordinaire, and the man behind our invitation, flyers, the selfie, digital, social media cards we had putting out almost every other day. And of course, a beautiful, sparkly background. So thanks again to Mr. Sheldon Noriega for supporting us with everything graphics. Special thanks to our PLOTT executive for making this event possible. Special recognition, appreciation, and gratitude goes out to our digital plotter, Natalie Mirage, for her efforts toward the Herculean task of being the team leader for today's celebration. Her planning, input, coordination, and execution has made today the astounding success that it has been. Natalie, there are truly no words that we can really express the gratitude we feel in our hearts for you putting everything together. And it has been a really lovely event. So thank you so much. Thank you to all our wonderful and loyal PLOTT members for your continued participation and support. You would note there were a lot of messages coming up in the chat. For example, you know, Cavell made a lot of very interesting and meaningful comments. So thank you so much for your continued participation and support, ladies. Saving the best for last, we wish to thank all of you, each and every one of you, for attending and celebrating with us today. We applaud you all for your support as we embrace equity together. Thank you, ladies.
Ooh, yes, we have to take a little hug. Everybody hug themselves. Ooh. All right. So before we go, we'd like to take a toast for everyone. I'm giving you all a few seconds to go grab your drink. I'm getting mine. Ooh, let the party start.
Nikki, while we wait on everyone, can I just share a little story?
Well, you is the big lady, you know, Tracy. You share, girl. You in
charge.
charge.
Sisterhood. So I was really, I loved all of the stories, but I think one thing that resonated with me was when Johanna talked about, or should I just say the piano girl?
Either one is fine.
She talked about taking up space. And I remembered that some years ago, I was working on a TV series called Conversations with Women in Leadership. And I won't call her name, but somebody who has held really high office in Trinidad and Tobago shared a story with me that oftentimes when she entered the boardroom, she noticed that women would never go sit close to the head of the table. And this is something we don't recognize, that yes, we've gotten to the point, but we still remain small. So Johanna, thank you for reminding us. Let me take up space. Let us be loud and full of joy. Yeah, thank you so much.
And stand in your power, you know. I think Dale said that was a real interesting, that we stand in our power, we stand in our achievements, which Johanna reminded us of. So I want all you women to stand in your power. Are we ready to take a toast? As we celebrate all women around the world, all those doing their thing, all those shining and representing for women around the world, all the hardworking mothers. I think it was Nirmala that mentioned that she had a son, and it's amazing that you guys could do this without children. I don't know how, without with children. I don't know how you do it. And I literally bow to all you mothers. And this one is for International Women's Year, this year, 2023. And we want you guys to shine and be your best authentic self and keep spreading that love. So here's to you all. Ooh. It's Sunday, you know what I mean? I have no work, I ain't doing nothing, I might as well. All right, so Natalie, you know, there's always one behind the scenes. We thank you again, Natalie. Really pulled this together, brought all the presenters together, and thank you. So you all enjoy the rest of your Sunday, enjoy the rest of your wine, and hopefully we can spread equity among ourselves pretty soon again. So cheers. Have a great one.
Thanks,
You were awesome. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, guests, hosts, members, everybody. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you too, Natalie.
Some music on, get vibes of it, some music.
Thank you, Natalie.
Michelle missed some of this stuff, but don't worry, we have taped the session and it will be on the PLOTT Facebook page that you can share as soon as Natalie gets it up. All right?